So in this video, we will see the examples of methods in Java, how to write them, how to use them, different flavors of methods. So in this example, I have created a class methods and I have written a bunch of methods in this class. Some are accepting no arguments, some of them are accepting certain arguments, returning something, non-returning methods, different flavors of methods. So we will pick all these methods one by one and we will try to understand different concepts related to methods in Java. So before we can call any method of a certain class, we need to have an object of that class. That's what we are doing on line number 6. So we have two files, main and methods. I have placed them side by side, but other than that they are basically two different files. So on this line we created an object of methods class, which is basically this class. Now if we want to call any method of this class, we simply use the reference variable and dot notation, and we can call any supported methods. So if we start with m1 is basically a public method, which means that anyone can call this public method, and in this example all methods are public. Void means that a method or this particular method returns nothing. So a method can return something or it may not. So it depends on it depends on the logic. So let's say if a method is computing a sum of two numbers, then it's up to us. We may just, depending on the use case, we may just print the output on the console. In this case, we don't have to return anything, but we may choose to return the output to the caller so that caller can do something on that return value. So it depends on the use case. In Java, if we don't want to return something from the method, we write or we use void keyword. Void means that this method will return nothing. So m1 will return nothing. M1 is the name of the method, and this particular without any arguments, it means that method is not going to accept anything. This is the body within the boundaries of curly braces. This is the boundary of the this is the body of the method. In this case, it is simply printing a message on the console. So if we want to call it, we would simply write m.m1 and it will call the m1 method. Now with m2, so m2 is another public method, but there is return type configured. It says that this method will return an integer value. Whatever it is doing, after it completes its execution, it should return an int value. It doesn't accept anything, but it must return an int value. So if we declare that a method will return something, then we have to use return keyword and we have to return a value, a value of the same type. So in this case, because the return type is int, so we need to return an integer, and that's how we return something from a method. In this case, it's not doing anything great, just printing something on the console and returning a constant value 10. So in each method execution, it will always return the value of 10. To call it, we would simply say m.m2. Now it's up to us. If a method returns something, it's up to the caller whether or not to accept that argument. So if I don't want to accept the return value, I don't have to do anything. So in this case, m2 will return the constant value 10, but the caller, in this case the main, who is the caller, is not doing anything with that return value. That is perfectly valid. But if the caller wants to use the return value, so it can hold or it can do something else. So for example, this is an integer value, so main can declare another local variable, let's say result in this case, and m.m2, and then it can do anything. So maybe I just want to print the double of the return value. So if we run the program, we see that when this line executed, it says it called the m1 method and printed calling m1. Next, when the code executes m.m2, we are calling m2 method, printing this on the console, so calling m2 and then returning value 10. But because we are not doing anything with value 10, nothing happens after that. In case of this call, we again went to method m2, which is a fresh execution, so that's why we see calling m2 again. But this time we are doing something with the return value. We are basically printing the double of that value, so we see the value 20 on the console. Coming to the next method, which is basically a non-returning method with void keyword, but it is accepting two integer values, two integer arguments. So a method can accept any number of arguments. It can accept, let's say, boolean, float, double, or any object. In this case, it is just integer values. So to call a method or to pass the arguments, how do we pass the arguments to a method? We simply call the method, so m dot print sum, and because it is accepting two integer values, so we need to pass two integer values. Here we are printing two integer values, 3, 5. So we follow the syntax, and if we run the method, main method, then we see that calling print sum and sum is 8, which is basically the body of this method. And similarly, if we call the multiply, which is another method accepting two arguments, let's say 3 and 4. So let's run it. We see the output on the console calling multiply, but we don't see the multiplication. Why? Because this method is returning an integer value, basically the multiplication of two numbers, n1 cross n2, but we are not doing anything with that output. That's why we don't see the final value. So in order to use that value, we have to store it same as m2, and because this is an integer, so let's save it in some integer value. And now if we print the out value, we will see 12, which is basically the multiplication of 3 and 4. Now this particular method, multiply multiple, it accepts an integer array. It could be any type of array, boolean array or object array, but in this case it is accepting an integer array. How do we pass an array to the method? So we call m.multiply integer array. Let's declare an integer array of size 3. How do we know size 3? Because we see that it is basically accessing 0, 1 and 2 index locations and it is multiplying them. So we need an array of size 3. Let's say nums equals to new int, or maybe just use another variant of the array declaration, 1, 2, 3. And next we will pass the array to the method. We don't see the output. Oh, okay. So we don't see the output because this method is returning a string in this format, but it is not printing anywhere else. So we can simply log the output like this. So in this case we are saying whatever the return value is, just print it on the console, and because it is string, so we can safely do that. And now we see the output is 6, which is basically the returned value from this method. Similarly, we can call a method from another method. So in this case, let's say we have written a toUpper method accepting a string value, but what it is returning is basically it is calling an inbuilt method on the string toUpperCase, and it is basically returning that output of the toUpperCase. So that's it on the methods. That's it for now. Thank you.